What is up, people? It is me, Monster58, and welcome back to another video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio series, Rise of the Beasts, Predacon Scorponok, essentially the troop builder, as well as, Scorponok in the film. We saw a ton of Scorpions in the film, especially in the final battle of the film. A ton of these guys walking around, Autobots killing them, trying to kill the Autobots, and obviously the Maximals as well. But yeah, really interesting that they decided to make this, but it makes sense, especially because they made it in the main line, like the regular just Rise of the Beasts main line, mainly aimed towards like the younger kids and stuff like that. But really cool regardless. Actually, very big surprise that this figure is very good, and we'll get into that here in a minute. But taking a look at the box here, you can see the Transformers here. Generations got the Studio Series Scorponok here. 107 got Rise of the Beasts up here as well. And then you have some more nice artwork here of Scorponok. Got additional here. Got the Studio Series stuff here. 107. And then finally our obligatory product shots here on the back. Transforms in 20 steps. And then the scene, funnily enough, is just like the background when they're in the forest, but I don't remember in the movie any of the Scorponoks appearing in the forest. The only time I remember seeing them ever appear again was in that final battle scene. So kind of interesting they decided to do that. So maybe you could repurpose that background for a different character or something like that. But yeah, that's really it for the box, folks. And so without further ado, here we have Scorponok in his Scorpion mode, and I gotta say, guys, this looks really freaking awesome. Like, this is really cool. Bar this sort of maybe lack of paint in terms of maybe some extra coloring, all the colors on here are really cool. You have this really nice purple around, you have the red for the eyes, as you can see. You also have this sort of grayish, bluish, purplish color here for the majority of the body, and you have some nice silver bits here for the claws. You also have it for the stinger here as well. So taking a look at the details, you can see the face is really cool. Like, that is incredibly well sculpted. Just a very creepy, sinister, very beast-like, like no brain, I just want to kill things face sculpt. Looks really good. Whether it's super accurate to the film, I mean, I'll have to re-watch and re-look again to make sure that it's rather accurate. But at the same time, for characters that are just meant to be killed anyway, kind of like those, I don't know what they were, those creatures in Avengers Infinity War that came out from Thanos' ships in the Battle of Wakanda, right? When they try and invade Wakanda, those creatures are kind of like these guys, right? They're same idea. They're just meant to be feral, go and kill things no matter if they die or not, right? It doesn't matter. They're brainless beasts. But you can see very nice silver paint here for the claws as well. They look really cool. You can see all the awesome molded in detail. And then going here to the body, you can see this nice sort of gradient effect where it's like, it's purple and then it gets lighter as it goes up here. And then you can see, I believe, that is the Predacon symbol, very nicely painted and detailed for how small it is. And then here's the Singer. You can see the very nice detail on the Singer. Looks really good, actually. I mean, that kind of actually looks like a bird's face now that I look at it. You can see the beak, right, and this is the eye, but still looks really cool. Then you have the nice purple here. Going around, I mean, this guy looks awesome all around. The only issue I really do have with the Scorpion mode is the stability. Sometimes this thing, like, getting this thing to flatten out, with all of the legs and the joints and whatever, sometimes is a bit of a pain in the nuts. It doesn't really, I don't know. It doesn't feel the best to try to get this lined up perfectly, because it really won't be lined up super perfectly, but at the end of the day, this guy still looks really cool. And just for a quick comparison, let's see if I can find a decent picture of one of the Scorponoks, and I'll chuck it right here from the movie so we can actually compare and contrast. So yeah, some pretty interesting stuff with this guy. Just a very cool, creepy beast mode, and I really do enjoy how this guy looks, which is actually why I have two of them. But for quick comparison, besides the actual CGI model, here he is. And here he is with the Legacy United Deluxe class Infernac Universe Magnius. As you can see, he's a rather large Deluxe. Like, he is not small. Like, this guy is an average size Deluxe, and this guy is, wider. He's got some more, surface area that he covers. You can see the size difference. This guy is not a small Deluxe. This guy is a rather good sized Deluxe. And it honestly really makes sense considering that the Scorpions were huge. Like, they were very big in the movie. Let's not deny that. These guys are rather large. Definitely larger than RC. About the same size as Bumblebee, as well as Pablo or Wheeljack. So yeah, some really nice stuff here, and I'm really glad that he is as big as he is, because it makes the troop building more imposing. And definitely because these guys honestly, this figure will not be super popular amongst like collectors. I honestly recommend you guys pick up a few of these guys if you do like troop building, because it's honestly a fantastic troop builder. So, awesome comparison here. Alrighty, folks, let's get into the articulation because, well, it's a beast mode, so I gotta talk about that. So the tail, the scorpion stinger tail, is actually articulated. So you have 3 joints. So you have actually 4. You have the base one here, one here, and then one here. So no, it's actually 3. My apologies, it is 3. So one here, and one here. So you can get bend here, you can get bend here, and then you can actually just get bend at this part of the stinger. So that's really, really cool. The legs, they don't really do much. That's all they do, and this is mainly for transformation. Right? That really doesn't do. You can technically angle them, but like, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. Like, these have joints that can go back and forth like this, so they can rotate like that. But that's about it for the legs. For the arms, these are very articulated. So you have some ball joints. So you do have, what you'll notice here, you have a joint here, and then you have a ball joint here at the actual like claw part. So you can get like a full 360. You can get a lot of cool stuff with this. And then because of how this thing transforms, you do have lots of joints, particularly here, so that you can extend this out. So particularly here, so you can extend some stuff out like that. So pretty cool stuff all around, and again, a really solid scorpion mode and articulation for it, because in all reality, I wouldn't expect this thing to be super articulated, considering scorpions, I wouldn't say, are very acrobatic creatures. So it's nice to see that it still does have articulation, just not an insane amount because, well, it's a scorpion, so kind of have to expect that. Alrighty, and with the little bit of articulation out of the way, it's time to get into the transformation, which I believe is actually fine. It's cool, it's not hard at all, and it's not super intuitive, but obviously it's not frustrating. The only thing I'll say about the transformation is that I have 2 of these things, and both have very tight joints. I'll say that much. So the most frustrating part about transforming this guy is the tight joints. Now, obviously, those will loosen up over time, but it is a bit frustrating because sometimes I don't know if I'm forcing something or something like that, or like if it's supposed to bend and it just doesn't want to because the joints are too tight. But getting into the transformation, we can go here, go to the bottom, and then you can untab this, and then you can sort of, so what you'll see is this whole section here will accordion out. So just do that. And what you can do, take the scorpion legs and then you can fold these up. And then what I like to do is fold them in again because they have those joints that you can fold them in. So I like to fold them in just to, whoops, I thought I had that joint on it. You can fold that in and fold that out. Excuse me, fold that out just a little bit. And then you can just rotate these however you'd like. Personally, I kind of like having them a little bit more folded in like this so that it's a little less obtrusive, and then take the tail and then you can just fold it up like so. And then coming down here to the legs. Legs are pretty simple, so what you're going to do this, then what you can do is rotate them around like so, and then they'll just collapse like this, and then you can fold the foot out again. So you sort of pull it back like this, gives you the clearance to rotate it around, and then you can go and fold this back in. And then what you'll do from here, you'll extend these out, and then what you'll do is you'll notice these have tabs in them, right? So what you're going to do is take this, and then you're going to fold them in like so. You do the same thing. You're going to fold them in like so, so that they fill these little cavities. See that little divot there where it goes, where it has that little corner, right? You have to fill it in right there. Then you can take the arms, and then you can fold them down, fold them around like so, and then I like to twist the hands like this. I do the same on this side, so you can fold this down, you can twist this all the way around, and then you can twist the hand like this, and then you can fold this down, and what you'll see is that there is a tab right there, and then it'll just tab right into place here. It also likes to come undone a fair bit of the time, so be aware of that. And then all you gotta do, last thing really, fold the head down. And ladies and gentlemen, here we do have the Transformers Studios series Rise of the Beasts Deluxe class Scorponok in his robot mode. And yeah, guys, at the end of the day, this guy's robot mode looks fantastic. It looks really, really cool. Again, so taking a look here, you can see the details, more details on the head. You can see that head is gorgeous, right? You can see the absolute gorgeous detail that they did and they have for this guy, right? Like, see if that'll focus there. You can see the paint, you can see all of the spikiness, the silver, right? Looks really good. Going down here, you can see a nice yellow bit comes out here for some nice added accents. You got some nice purple here, a little more here than here even. You got some gray bits there. Very nice purple going down here. The hands are really chonky, which is a nice little design detail. You got some nice purple, and then you got that, very nice molded detail. And then the back, yeah, it's a bit of a mess. There is a lot going on with the back, but it makes sense considering, well, he's a Scorpion. So at the end of the day, I think it's perfectly fine how this guy looks. Overall, honestly, a really solid looking robot mode. And for me, I'm not even going to have this guy in robot mode, but I definitely will obviously give my opinion on it. But I still think it's a really solid robot mode given what this guy actually is and his purpose in the line as a whole. So really cool stuff all around. And so without further ado, let's get into some comparisons. So to get into some comparisons, we're going to set this guy off to the side here. Alrighty, and the only major comparison we're actually going to do here is with Magnius. All of my other Rise of the Beasts figures are currently not available to be taken out at this point, but we do have a pretty solid comparison here. What you can see is that he is of average deluxe size. Again, he's a bit shorter than Magnius here, so he's going to be about the same size as Mirage, maybe about the same size as Bumblebee, stuff like that. So he is an average size deluxe, but again, you see his size really take shape in his Scorpion mode, so that's really where it all goes. So yeah, just wanted to give you guys an idea of how big this guy is. So average deluxe size, pretty solid. Alrighty, and before we get into the articulation is the accessories. Funnily enough, this guy comes with one, and that is his tail. You can actually disconnect it, which is cool. So you can disconnect it here, so it just goes in with that 5mm port there, and then you can do this. And what's cool is you can actually no, that's the bad part. Alright, sorry about that little cut there. I just wanted to make sure. So when it comes to this figure, what's cool with this tail is the way you actually end up putting this guy on in his arm. So you'll notice that there is a tab right there, and then you just have the 5mm peg on the tail, and then all you gotta do is plug this in. You can rotate it around like so. Whoops. Rotate it around like this, all the way around. Just plug it in like that, and then what you can do is you can rotate it around, and then you can end up using it like a big weapon. So that's really cool. Like, the fact that you can use his tail as a weapon is just cool, and I think that that's a really neat way of doing a design for an accessory, because it's already implemented into the Scorpion mode, so it doesn't feel super obtrusive or anything like that. So that's really cool. So all around a really solid accessory, and it also alleviates some backpack from the back. So just very simple, just rotate that up, and then you can just plug that back in, and no issues there. So really solid all around. Very, very cool to see a nice implementation of an accessory. And finally, the last thing we're going to get into is the articulation. So for the articulation, it's actually pretty good on this guy for a deluxe. So on the head, you do get really just a swivel, and the head popped off. I mean, you get a ball joint. It's just unfortunate that with the way that the head is designed. What you end up getting is, like, it doesn't quite like to look side to side the best, because it'll pop off like it just did. But you do get some side to side like this, right? And then you do have that really crazy neck joint, so you can look up, and then you can look down. You can look up a fair bit like this. Then for the shoulders, these are on full ball joint, so you do get a full range of motion here, out, in. You do get an upper rotation at the upper part of the bicep. Then you have more than 90 at the elbow, ball joint at the wrist, so full wrist articulation as well. And then for the waist, no waist. Oh, actually, you do have waist here. Yeah, I thought this was locked, but you do have waist here. You don't get a ton because your thighs bump into the backpack a lot, but at the end of the day, you do get a little bit of waist. You can kick forward about that far. You can kick back about that far. You have a 90-degree bend at the knee, then you have upper thigh rotation as well, which is real nice. And then you do have some ankle rocker here, but not at the heel or anything like that, just due to the way that the feet are designed. But still, you can get some pretty sick poses with this guy, despite his, like, sort of, like, troop builder theme here, especially him being one of the just random Predacons. You can still get some pretty cool poses with this guy, all things considered. So all around, a really solid articulation for just a random troop builder deluxe figure. Alrighty, folks, and the last thing to do is obviously the reverse transformation, and so let's get into that right quick. So first thing I like to do is actually transform the arms. So all you gotta do is rotate them around, rotate the hands around, and then you can just fold them, and then they kind of slot perfectly into place here. So again, just rotate it around, rotate the hand around so that the hole where the tail would go is facing the front, and then you can just do this and unpeg that. And then what I like to do, take the head, flip that up, take the chest, and you can unpeg this and then pull. And then, whoops, then you can pull, and then you get everything at the upper body already situated. Then at the legs, take these, unpeg them, rotate them around like so, and then you fold them up like this, and then we'll adjust this later. So again, just unpeg, rotate around, accordion, rotate around, and then put like this for now, and we'll deal with this later. Then all you got to do, take this waist, then just push it in like so, and then what you'll notice is that there are two slots right there, and then there are these tabs here on either side. So these won't really lock in, they'll kind of just rest in, so you kind of just have to aim them like so. Sorry, I smashed the camera there, by the way. Knocked into it when I was scrolling over there, and then you basically have it like, again, they kind of just rest in there, they don't really lock in there, so you kind of just do your best to just line them up and then fold those back down. And then for the scorpion part here, the claws, all you got to do, what I like to do, is you fold them in like so, and then you can just fold them in like this, and then you can have them like this. So just kind of position them, just accordion them like this, then take this section and then you can fold it down, and then you can sort of start to flatten this guy out. And this is where I like to adjust the back legs. So then you can just adjust these like so. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we have the Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Rise of the Beasts Predacon Scorponok back in his Scorpion mode. And so guys, for my final and concluding thoughts on the Transformers Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Deluxe Class Predacon Scorponok, this guy is really good for just a troop builder. Like, very surprisingly good. Like, there's no reason that a troop builder should really be an amazing figure, but honestly, it really is. He's got great paint, great articulation, the transformation and functionality are both really awesome, and they're really not frustrating at all. You do have a nice accessory that's very well integrated into the beast mode. Like, overall, it's just honestly a great figure overall. The only caveats I have with this figure are two. The joints are tight on both of my copies, which means more than likely joints are tight in general. I've been seeing with other reviewers that the joints are tight on this guy for them as well. And in addition to that, flattening him out in his Scorpion mode is a bit annoying. Like, trying to get everything sort of lined up, because the way that everything lines up isn't necessarily the best when it comes to getting him to lay flat down and just standing. But again, good size, good paint, good articulation, solid transformation, and nicely integrated accessories. So overall, if I have to give this guy a rating out of 10, it's probably going to be a 9. You could argue an 8, but I argue a 9 personally, because I think it's an awesome figure, and I definitely recommend you guys pick this up. Even if you pick up a couple of them for your troop builder, anything like that, I honestly think it is a great pickup. So I picked mine up on both Hasbro Pulse, IRL, and then obviously it's also available on the Big Bad Toy Store, so I'll leave a link to all of those in the description below if you're hunting IRL. I wish you the best of luck, because they hit my local Walmart. I expect that they will hit your local retailers as well, so definitely be on the lookout if you want to just buy this guy IRL. But yeah, I think that's about it, guys. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Also follow me in the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, I once again thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.